Few people know his name, but his influence stretches across Russia like an invisible hand. A man who operates in the shadows, Alexander Bortnikov, cold, elusive, and rarely seen in public, he holds the keys to Russia's vast intelligence network. Behind his distant gaze lies a career meticulously shaped in espionage, deception, and power. Who is the man behind the FSB, and why does he remain one of Russia's most enigmatic figures? Born in 1951 in Perm, Russia, Bortnikov seemed destined for a conventional career in engineering. He graduated from the Leningrad Railway Engineering Institute in 1975, prepared to work in Soviet infrastructure. But then, he made an abrupt turn, straight into the world of espionage. Instead of railways, Bortnikov found himself navigating the intricate corridors of the KGB. He quickly climbed the ranks, mastering intelligence operations and internal security. What began as a career shift soon transformed him into one of Russia's most formidable intelligence strategists. Bortnikov joined the KGB in 1975, embedding himself in Leningrad's intelligence network. Specializing in economic security and industrial espionage, he became a key player in the Soviet Union's covert battle against the West. Tasked with securing critical technologies and protecting Soviet industries, he honed his skills in deception, strategy, and high-stakes intelligence. These years forged his reputation as a calculated operator, one who wouldn't just collect information but shape the course of national security. The fall of the Soviet Union dismantled the KGB, forcing Russia to rebuild its intelligence network from scratch. Amidst the chaos, Bortnikov adapted swiftly, securing his place in the newly formed FSB. His deep expertise made him an indispensable asset as Russia reshaped its security apparatus for a new era. In 2008, Alexander Bortnikov took control of the FSB, placing himself at the heart of Russia's intelligence and security apparatus. This was not merely a bureaucratic appointment. It marked the solidification of his role as one of the most powerful yet unseen figures in modern Russia. Under his leadership, the FSB evolved beyond a domestic intelligence agency, becoming a key instrument in the Kremlin's geopolitical strategy. The agency's reach expanded, controlling not just internal security but also foreign intelligence operations, cyber warfare initiatives, and counterterrorism strategies. Bortnikov's methods were calculated and relentless. He prioritized tightening state control, eliminating internal threats, and neutralizing opposition figures, all while keeping his name out of the headlines. His presence is rarely acknowledged in public, yet his decisions have shaped the political landscape, suppressed dissent, and reinforced Russia's authoritarian stability. Through surveillance networks, covert actions, and strategic political maneuvering, he has ensured that the FSB remains the Kremlin's most formidable weapon. While Putin commands attention on the world stage, it is Bortnikov who operates in the dark, orchestrating the mechanisms of power from behind closed doors. Today, his influence stretches beyond Russian borders. Whether through espionage, cyber tactics, or silent operations abroad, his fingerprints are found in some of Russia's most controversial global maneuvers. From election interference to high-profile political assassinations, the FSB's reach has never been stronger, and at its helm sits a man who refuses to be seen but is impossible to ignore. Bortnikov's close ties to Vladimir Putin date back to their shared time in Leningrad's KGB network. His appointment as FSB director in 2008 was a clear signal of Putin's unwavering trust. More than just an intelligence chief, Bortnikov is part of the elite Siloviki, a select group of powerful security figures who control key government institutions and state enterprises. While Putin dominates the political stage, Bortnikov commands power from behind the scenes, ensuring absolute loyalty, neutralizing threats, and shaping Russia's security doctrine. His decisions do not just influence intelligence operations, they dictate the balance of power in modern Russia. Officially, the FSB is a security agency. In reality, it is a central force in Russia's political system, controlling internal dissent, opposition groups, and foreign intelligence operations. Under Bortnikov's leadership, the FSB has become a powerful instrument for suppressing dissent and maintaining the Kremlin's control over Russia's elite. Bortnikov's ability to remain invisible yet deeply influential reinforces his status as a true enforcer of the Russian state. In 2019, Alexander Bortnikov was awarded the Hero of the Russian Federation, one of the country's highest state honors. Unlike most recipients, whose achievements are publicly acknowledged, the Kremlin remained silent about the exact reasons behind Bortnikov's recognition. This secrecy immediately fueled speculation. Was it for a highly classified intelligence operation, a major counterterrorism success, or an espionage mission beyond Russia's borders? Given his position at the helm of the FSB, many believe the award was tied to covert operations that never reached the public eye. Some suggest it was a recognition of Russia's cyber influence campaigns, while others theorize it was connected to the elimination of perceived threats to the state, both domestically and internationally. With no official statement confirming or denying these claims, the award remains another layer in the mystique of Bortnikov's leadership. Whether it was granted for an act of unseen heroism or a shadowy operation known only to the highest echelons of power, one thing is certain: it cements his legacy as one of the most elusive yet powerful figures in Russia's intelligence history. Alexander Bortnikov's reign over the FSB is defined by secrecy, power, and ruthless enforcement. Behind the walls of Russia's most feared intelligence agency, a silent war rages, not just against external threats, but against anyone who dares to challenge the Kremlin. Under his leadership, political opponents, journalists, and dissidents have faced a relentless crackdown, raising urgent concerns about the erosion of civil liberties in Russia. Few cases illustrate this better than the 2020 poisoning of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. After collapsing on a flight from Tomsk, Navalny was rushed to a hospital where doctors discovered traces of Novichok, a Soviet-era nerve agent. Western intelligence agencies, as well as Navalny himself, directly blamed the FSB for the assassination attempt, an allegation that, while denied by the Kremlin, only reinforced the agency's reputation for covert eliminations. But this wasn't the first time the FSB was linked to a high-profile poisoning. In 2006, former FSB officer Alexander Litvinenko was murdered in London with radioactive polonium-210, a method so precise and lethal that British authorities concluded it could only have been sanctioned by the Russian state. His death sent a chilling message. Betraying the Russian security establishment had consequences, no matter where in the world you were. Beyond assassinations, the FSB under Bortnikov has embraced a new battlefield: cyberspace. Russia's state-backed cyber warfare units have been accused of orchestrating disinformation campaigns, election interference, and massive hacking operations targeting foreign governments and corporations. These covert actions aimed at destabilizing geopolitical adversaries have drawn comparisons to Cold War-era tactics. Only now, the battles are fought in digital arenas. As Putin's regime faces increasing pressure, speculation grows over who could take over if he steps aside. Bortnikov's name often surfaces in discussions of possible successors. However, he has never openly expressed political ambitions. Instead, he thrives in the background, orchestrating events rather than leading from the front. His power is not in public speeches or political rallies, it is in the intelligence briefings, security directives, and classified operations that define Russia's geopolitical moves. Whether or not he ever seeks formal leadership, Alexander Bortnikov will remain a dominant force in Russia's intelligence and security landscape. His ability to operate without visibility, yet wield enormous power, ensures that his presence is always felt, even if unseen. Unlike political figures who thrive on public recognition, Bortnikov's power lies in discretion. He does not need grand speeches or televised appearances. His influence is carried in the encrypted messages of intelligence reports, the silent movements of security forces, and the strategic operations conducted far from the public eye. As long as the Kremlin relies on the iron grip of its security apparatus, his role will be indispensable. Whether shaping policy, neutralizing threats, or orchestrating unseen operations, his presence looms over Russia's future like a shadow cast by the state itself.